So, you're a doctor in Vietnam, and you've got this huge dream of practicing medicine in a Western country. It's an amazing goal, but where do you even start? Today, we're going to break down the three main pathways for you: the US, Australia, and Canada. We'll lay them out side by side so you can see exactly what each one looks like.
I love this quote we're starting with because it just cuts right to the chase. Want to be a doctor abroad? Here are the three fastest paths. And that's exactly what we're talking about today, the most direct routes. Now, direct doesn't always mean easy, but these are the established tracks to get you there.
Look, let's be real. A lot of doctors share this dream, but the process can feel like you're trying to solve some impossible puzzle, right? There are all these exams, acronyms, and applications. It's a lot. Our goal here is to cut through that confusion and give you a really clear map of your three main options.
Okay, so let's dive into our first option, the United States. This is the one a lot of people talk about, the big one. It's often seen as the ultimate goal for many international doctors, but let me tell you, it is also one of the most demanding journeys you can possibly take.
So how do you actually do it? Well, the entire US path really boils down to two massive hurdles. First up, you have to conquer the United States Medical Licensing Examination, the USMLE. This thing is a beast. It's a multi-part exam that's notoriously difficult. And even if you pass, you're not done. Then comes the second challenge: finding and securing a residency spot, which is where you get your actual hands-on training in the US system.
So if there's one thing you need to remember about the US path, it's this: the difficulty level is high. And it's not just about a single tough exam. The challenge comes from two sides. First, the pure academic grind of the USMLE, and second, the absolutely insane competition for a limited number of residency jobs. That 1-2 punch is what makes the American path the toughest of the three.
All right, so that's the US. Now let's hop over to our next option and see how it compares, Australia. This pathway has its own set of challenges, for sure, but it also comes with a really powerful incentive that makes it stand out. So what's the deal with practicing medicine down under? The whole process is run by the Australian Medical Council, or the AMC, and it's basically a two-step dance. You start with their multiple-choice question exam. Once you clear that, you move on to the second part, a practical, hands-on clinical exam where you really have to prove your skills in a real-world setting.
Okay, but this right here, this is the real game changer for Australia, and it's a huge deal. While the exams are tough, this route is famous for offering a high chance of getting permanent residency. So if you're not just looking for a job, but you're looking to actually build a new life for yourself and your family, this is a massive, massive plus.
And for our final stop, we're heading north to Canada. This option is interesting because it combines these incredible, world-class medical schools and hospitals with a really unique and incredibly competitive system for finding a job.
For Canada, your journey kicks off with passing the Medical Council of Canada qualifying examination, the MCCQE. But passing that is just step one. After that, you've got to dive into their national matching system, which is called CARMS. That's the Canadian Resident Matching Service, and it's where you'll compete for a residency position.
And this slide says it all. This is the heart of the challenge in Canada. The MCCQE exam is tough, no doubt. But the real bottleneck, the place where it gets incredibly difficult, is the competition within that CARM system. There's an extremely high level of competition for a pretty small number of residency spots available to international doctors. It's a real pressure cooker.
Okay, so we've looked at the US, Australia, and Canada one by one. Now for the fun part. Let's put them all side by side so you can see the trade-offs right next to each other and really figure out what makes the most sense. This table really pulls it all together, doesn't it? For the USA, you've got the USMLE plus residency, and the big headline is just high difficulty. That's the reality. Then you look at Australia, it's the AMC exams, but the standout feature is that huge opportunity for permanent residency. And finally, Canada, the MCCQE and CARMS, with the defining feature being that super high competition for residency spots. So when you see it all laid out like that, the decision really comes back to you. What are your priorities? Are you driven to take on the biggest academic challenge in the US? Or is the stability of settling down in Australia more important? There's really no single best path here. There's only the path that's best for you.
And that leaves us with the final question, the one that only you can answer. Now that you've seen the main requirements, the biggest challenges, and the unique benefits of each country all laid out, which one would you choose? Which path feels right for your future?